Consistency, day 25. You don't reward a fish for swimming. I've been thinking about how easy it is to just be satisfied with the bare minimums and doing what's expected. So many times we do the things that are just part of our daily responsibilities and what we're meant to do, and we aim to seek an applause or celebrations versus, hey, this is part of my duties as a human. This is part of my duties as a man, as a husband, as a wife. And going the extra mile is where you should be celebrated and where growth really happens. It doesn't happen at your bare minimums. It happens when you exceed past those. And that's where growth happens. That's where trust is built in relationships. That's where real wins and success really come from, when we truly take a look at it and look and dive deep. Think about it. In the Bible, it says, he who asks you to go 1 mile, walk 2 with him. What is that saying? Always go the extra mile, but always give more than what is expected. Not only to others. Yes, that's the secret in the world. That's the biggest secret in the world, is be a giver, give more. But give more to yourself. You have more than you have more to give than you have been given, and you're more capable than you've been acting like you're capable of. And use a 40-hour work week, for example. That's kind of like the standard for most people. They work a 40-hour work week. So why go home and complain about being tired or saying that you worked really hard? Like, you probably did work hard. You probably did you worked your hours, and that is honorable and that is integral. But don't expect to be celebrated for that. That's kind of what's expected of you. That's the contract or application that you signed saying that you're going to work those 40 hours. But say you put in extra hours, that's where more opportunities usually come in. Not always. Sometimes bosses suck, corporations suck, things like that, and you can get, used as a worker versus, actually truly appreciated. However, for the most part, when you're putting in the extra effort, it's eventually going to be seen. You're eventually going to be celebrated. A lot of times you put in the work in the dark and you win in the dark, and then you're celebrated later in the light. But don't expect to be celebrated for a 40-hour work week. Just using that as an example. In dating, if you're doing the bare minimum of, okay, I take my significant other once a month, I get her flowers once every 6 months or something like that. That's cool. You're doing part of your duties. But say you keep going above and beyond, like you have more romantic surprises and like things like that. You surprise her at home with flowers. You surprise her at work with flowers. Like, you just do different things, and you go a step above, especially any of the exes your significant other had, and it builds more trust. Like, they're like, oh, I know he or she really loves me because they're putting in the effort. They're putting in extra work, extra effort, and going above kind of what's expected of. We go out once a week and eat. Heck, everybody goes out to eat now. Single people go out to eat now. Like, do something above and beyond. And that doesn't mean just buy her flowers or buy him flowers all the time. Like, plan weekend getaways. Surprise him with new shoes. Surprise him with NBA 2K29, whatever. Like, still have that level of, I'm going to go above and beyond. I'm going to do more than what's expected of me. I'm going to do more than the bare minimum in my fitness. Okay, you go to the gym all day and you maintain, that's cool. But who's celebrated? The person that went from 100 pounds and lost 100 pounds is usually more celebrated, because it's like, man, I can tell they put in a lot of extra work. They got uncomfortable. Now, they got to a situation that they probably should have never been in, but we can't judge people for that. But you see how much they overcame and how much effort and stuff they put in to even do that, because that's not only a physical challenge, that's a mental challenge. And it's more well respected in terms of somebody that's already fit and in decent shape, and then they get a 6-pack abs. Like, it's still cool and like respectable. Like, okay, but you were already in shape. Like, you weren't really even fat. You just you were skinny fat and you got abs. Like, that's cool. But this person that lost 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds is like a little bit more celebrated, because they put in work, but it's usually extra work. And it might even just be the mental side of things. But just think about this as we go in our daily lives, and stop expecting to be celebrated. Stop waiting for, to be applauded for and lifted up. It's like a movie. The credits don't come into the end. And a lot of times you're not going to be celebrated in the moment you want to be celebrated. It might come years later. It might come days later. Like, just don't expect it. Put in the work. Do what you know you're capable of. Do what you know you're expected to do. And, you don't reward a fish for swimming. And you shouldn't be rewarded for stuff that you're capable of and that you should be doing on a daily basis anyway. And once you stop seeking that validation, then you can actually start living. You can actually start growing and improving, because then you want the best for yourself, regardless of what other people think and what other people will celebrate or what other people will say. So I hope this inspires you. I hope this motivates you to not just reward yourself for doing the bare minimum, and to go a step further. Do one more push-up, read one more page, make one more cold call, plan one more surprise for your significant other on a non-holiday, non-birthday, non-anniversary. Like, just do one more thing, and that's all it takes in order to go from, ordinary to extraordinary, and to be the best there is. I wish you peace and blessings on the journey.